Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His mind.
So thank you for joining us again on the Wigan Way, third episode of the year. After another victory, it's always nice recording after a victory, and it's a common theme so far this year. But lads, how's your week been, Lewis?
Yeah, all good, mate. No complaints.
Matty, how you doing, lad?
Fantastic. The best podcasts are when we've won and we're as a three.
Yeah,
So this is one of them.
definitely. We got some feedback to start with. Matty, do you want to go through that?
Mark Illingworth from Super League Pod said that on Lewis's point about crowd numbers being potentially affected by TV deals, he said that was a thing in the NFL as well. But he said something about how if the team sells so many % of tickets that it doesn't affect them. So it's just encouraging teams to sell their home games, really. Although he said that they tape off sections of the ground to make capacity smaller so they can fit that in. And I've seen a few tickets going for 45p. Or, that's not an exaggeration either. There have been tickets for 45p. A ridiculous, low prices. So they just get sold. You could even have people on the team buying them for that price and not turning up just so you can have it on TV.
Yeah, I could just buy one extra and be like, I'm not using it.
Yeah, but you want it to be on TV for other people that you know. But I guess you can do that in America, everyone else can watch it.
Yeah.
But you can't if you've not sold enough seats.
Yeah, they're not expecting you to travel across states, are they?
It's encouraging you to go to the game if you're local, which is a good thing, I suppose.
So that's quite good.
But for us, we just need it on TV.
Yeah. Any exposure is good exposure.
Yeah, for us, yeah.
Look at what it's done to the NRL. It's definitely increased the at-ground viewership and their attendance to games, and that's increasing now since they've got every game on show, because people are now following a team or they know about games that are on.
Well, we had 15,000 there.
Yeah.
Against Huddersfield.
Huddersfield can't have brought more than 100.
No,
I think it was 250 they brought.
Was it something like that?
2 coaches worth on my eyes.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm just making the point that it doesn't seem to be affected too. We've had what would normally is a relatively quiet fixture against Huddersfield. We've still put 15,000 in PW Stadium.
I think Bilko said it's 4,000 or 5,000 more than we had
This time last year.
No, I think it was
for this fixture in
2 years ago. I think it was
2021.
Yeah, I know those things. The club obviously sold tickets for it was about 5 they were selling for a celebrate thing, but I still think it's a good thing.
The South Stand was full.
Sold out, yeah. The South
and the East looked reasonable. The West looked reasonable. If it was like that every week, that's what we remember as kids. It was like that every week, wasn't it? South Stand was always full. There was always 15,000, 16,000 on, even if there was no away support. That's what we've got to get back to.
Well, you mentioned away support, and I've probably thrown this on you a little bit, so I'll talk and I'll give you a little minute to think about it. I want to get away from this dependence on away support, and away support is so crucial, because the way I look at it, you are going to get teams like London and Catalan that are travelling mega distances and can't bring 1,000 plus every week. For me, and you're going to get games across the Pennines on a Thursday or a Friday that are very difficult to get to. I don't get why clubs just aren't worried about the home support. I always see things about, look at how many they've brought.
Well, they're ridiculous.
But then factors change. We might take, I don't know, 2,000 if we play on a Saturday, but only take 800 if we go on a Thursday. I just think, as a club, your business model should be set up purely based off your home support, and whatever the away fans bring to me is a bonus.
The ridiculous thing I've seen this week is people criticising Wigan's attendance just because they're in a bigger stadium. It's the highest attendance of the week by some distance, and there were no sellouts, and there was no away support really. So how can you criticise that? I don't know. I was there on Tuesday, where the away end was sold out, £30 a ticket. What did I work that out as? 160 grand, was it, or something like that? Anyway, that is obviously a bonus.
Yeah, I just think if you just look
There
at
was-
the home support,
There was
what your revenue's
14,000
gonna
on
be.
there, by the way. So 14,000 with 4.5 from Bolton
Yeah,
compared to 15,000 with 250 from Huddersfield.
yeah, it was actually 15,400 and something,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
so
So it's still
but-
15,000 Wiganers.
Basically 15,000 Wiganers compared to 10,000.
My point with it is, and we will go on to the Wigan game very shortly. If you're looking at a club and setting it up, your guaranteed income is your fans. That's what you can control, and I think that's what you should work on. If your
yeah.
business model is dependent on getting so many away fans,
Your primary goal should be get your fans to bring a friend, and that's what the £5 deal is good for. Or what they used to have, those scrum tickets where you could get a couple for friends. Get them to buy a pint or whatever before the game, buy a shirt in the shop or a tracksuit top or something. That's really what you should be aiming for.
like with them £5 tickets, you just say to your mate, "Listen, get me a pie when we're in ground," something like that. And that's the way to get people in. And once you go, and some people might not get the bug, they might not get it, but
It needs exposure, though, doesn't it? It goes back to that TV deal. It's a good reason that it's a good thing about every game being on TV. The more we can get people watching rugby league, the better.
exactly right. Should we talk about the game then?
Yeah.
15,000 on. I think they got to watch a pretty decent game. Wigan obviously winning. I don't know about you guys, but my first thought before the game was just win. I wasn't bothered whether we won 1-0 or we won 80 points to 0.
Yeah.
Because you play a World Club Challenge and it has a similar effect on you as the Challenge Cup final can have. It can mess up your season a little bit. The adrenaline, the celebrations after. I think just getting a win is all that was important, and the manner of that win I'm not really bothered about.
Yeah, we had to win.
Yeah, 100%. It was just about getting... I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect... I mean, I don't know, maybe people will be like, why? But I thought we played a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting some errors. I was expecting some people falling off tackles just because of sore bodies after how intense the World Club Challenge game was to go back round again. There was a couple of changes, but not as many as I thought there might have been.
Slight tweak to that. I think I wasn't expecting us to start so well.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning. If you think back to that incredible game I always talk about after the cup final at Tottenham, where we went to Cass.
Yeah, Cass away.
And we had a bad start, didn't we?
Yeah. We were slow.
And we were slow starting, and then we caught up. We remember Kenny Edwards shushing the away fans when it was 10-0.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, cheers, Kenny. And then we obviously come back and played really well in that second half. I was kind of expecting a game like that, to be honest with you, but no, in truth, it was a great start.
Yeah, we started off great, I think, and then I think we grew into the first half even a little bit more. Maybe dripped off towards the end of the game, a little bit of fatigue and a little bit of just game management more than anything. I thought we managed the game relatively well.
Yeah, we weren't. I don't think we were ever in danger of losing. I think some of the Huddersfield fans put it best. They were saying, "Yeah, not a bad effort, but we never really looked like winning, did we?"
No, and probably from 15 minutes on, I obviously sat next to you, Lewis. I was a bit we're just in cruise control.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a game that we were ever in danger. There was a couple of times you go, if they get one here, then they only need one. But I think it was at the start of the second half. I remember saying to you, we only need one more because they can't get 4.
Yeah.
They couldn't get 4 tries.
Yeah.
And we scored and it was sort of game over.
Yeah.
The way it felt to me anyway.
The Marshall try, that third one. I think the first couple of tries were really nice. Bevan French's try was fantastic. Starts off the move. Field where he gets outside his defender. We didn't even move that with much pace, but Field can get outside his defender
so
on one
easily.
step.
Well,
And then Kieran with a nice right foot step in.
Well, let's just go through the try scorers. Obviously, a hat trick for Liam Marshall, Bevan French, and Tyler Dupree. Harry Smith kicked 5 from 6. Obviously, kicked a penalty in that he missed.
That one from Marshall, where it was
Marshall right from
right
the edge
on the touchline,
in the second half. Tries for Huddersfield were Jack Murky, Adam Swift, Elliot Wallace, and 2 from Ollie Russell out of 3.
He was good, that Murchie, I thought. Number 11.
Yeah, it was good.
I was very impressed with him.
I thought he was good, yeah. He ran a few nice lines and he he was a handful to tackle.
He looks like a very difficult body
Cute,
to tackle.
And then obviously he got his try. But yeah, I liked him. I thought he was a good player. Clune showed me a few nice things as well. He tried that cut-out pass too many times.
Yeah, he looked a little bit...
But he did obviously work for the Swift try. Was it Swift? Oh no, the Wallace try that was, sorry. But he tried it a few more times after that and it didn't work. I liked a lot about what I saw though from Wigan.
Yeah.
Particularly Jake Wardle.
Jake Wardle.
We're going to talk about Jake Wardle again. You two really are big fans of the NFL, but there's a team called the Cleveland Browns, which is probably not a nickname that IMG would like, although I think it's quite cool. They've had so many different quarterbacks over the years, and the quarterback obviously is the star man, and lots of people get the name on the back of the shirt for the quarterback, and there's a really famous photo of someone who's crossed out the name on the back of the shirt and added the next one. And there's about 20 names on this shirt by the end of 10 seasons. 25 people who've played this one position. And to me, that feels like Liam Marshall's centre partners at Wigan.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to the people who've played inside Liam Marshall, but we've said for years, like as desperate as we are for a centre to be inside Marshall, he must be more desperate because he's had people filling in he's had wingers playing the second rowers. I'd
actually love to go back and have a look at everyone who's played centre.
He's now got... Well, they're a bit like Maverick and Goose, aren't they? They're a perfect partnership.
Yeah, I think still with Wardle, for me, I think because he's someone who is probably getting the plaudits he deserves. Obviously he's going to be in the England show. But I feel like it's still, because of the stars Wigan's got on the field, it does still seem like he goes under the radar.
A little bit, yeah, I know what you mean.
With Field, with French, Harry Smith controlling things at 7.
The two
Sometimes
wingers,
you forget the two wingers getting 20 plus tries, and you think actually Wardle. And do you know what? John Wells used the right word. He's classic.
Yeah, I
He
always
is a
call him that.
classic.
It's perfect.
Again, I feel like I'm going to throw this on you. Is he the best centre in Super League?
He certainly was last year by a wide margin. I think on form I like Matt Percival a lot, but I'd rather have
my
Wardle.
issue, I think him and Percival are the best two centres in Super League.
Yeah.
Maybe Harry Newman worth a shout in.
Yeah, Harry Newman's decent
Toby
as
King,
well.
obviously, from last year.
King was good
I've not
last
seen
year.
much of him this year, starting. But I just think my one thing over Wardle, over Percival, is Percival's injury record. But how lucky are we to have Jake Wardle, Adam Kieran, who I'm becoming more and more impressed with.
Yeah.
More I watch him. I'm really happy with the two that we've got.
Yeah.
It's a really funny situation from Isa and Farrell playing 2 years ago.
Exactly.
2-3 years ago
Bateman
to
was
this.
filling in there. Bibby was in the. It's really, really good to see him. And Liam Marshall, from probably his 7th year now, isn't it? If you think about it.
Yeah.
He's got to go down as a club legend. He's nothing else.
Yeah.
He's a club legend. He's scored so many tries for the club and so many important tries for the club. When we talk about club legends, we tend to say Farrell, French, Isa, maybe. Marshall's up there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely. And winning try in the grand final, winning try
In the cup
in the
final.
cup final.
In the fact he's one of our own as well.
Yeah.
Played at Charlie as an amateur, come through our system and stuff. I think that adds a lot to me.
While we talk about them two, can I just add another number out there? 108 and 105 metres again for both our wingers.
The wingers, yeah.
Even I know they don't do the same defensive work, and they've made 1 and 3 tackles apiece. But they allow the big lads down the middle of break, especially tackle 1, tackle 2, and Kieran and Wardle quietly go about their work. I feel like we're just getting that balance right.
Yeah.
One player, before we go through all the tries and the moves that happened, one player I just want to mention making his home debut.
Full debut, yeah.
Full debut. Obviously, he went off at Cask injured.
Oh wait, this is Luke. Oh, Luke Thompson.
Luke Thompson.
All right. I thought you were going to say the man actually making his debut.
No, I'll talk about him in a short second when we go through the tries. What was your thoughts on Thompson?
I thought he went really well.
I thought he was good.
Was
it best part of 60, 70 minutes?
It was a long time.
He did all 40 in the first half.
Him and Dupree did a long time. Dupree only came off with about 5 minutes left in the first half. Tyler Dupree only scores his try because, well, which we'll talk about later, because of Thompson's excellent run.
Yeah.
Tackle beforehand.
Yeah, just scattering
He's
bodies.
doing the hard carries as well, I've noticed. He's always on.
Well, every
tackles,
kick off.
Yeah, they went
He
to
took every
French and he
kick-off.
passed it on to Thompson. I would like to see if we could possibly, if it's in the game plan, for use him a bit like Saints used Walmsley through those years, where he's coming on the third and fourth tackles.
Yeah.
You know, when Miskey, like saying about the meters, you know, Marshall punches holes, Miskey punches holes, and as they're kind of retreating back, then they've got Thompson and Dupree rolling them from the.
Yeah.
Do you not
But-
think we have that option with the likes of Mago?
We have, and you look,
Ellis.
it's Thompson's
Dupree.
second game, because he played against Cass, obviously missed the World Club Challenge, and he's been out. He was signed from the NRL, where he's going to take time to get back to Wigan fit and fit into our system. But no,
Get back to his best.
He's playing big minutes. He's making big carries. He's taking tough carries. He's making his tackles. He seems like a bit of a kind of leader in that middle pack as well. So no, I'm impressed with what I've seen. I think it's been a good signing so far.
Well, I don't know how long Mike Cooper's going to be out, but the pack is probably crying out for a leader. At least the prop forwards are crying out for a leader, and he could be the man.
He could be the man.
Certainly
I
looks
just
like
wanted to throw into that we dominated in the pack. Really, in my opinion, I was looking at the stats beforehand, and we were well on top for meters made. Made over 100 and something more meters, ran 300 meters more, made 50 more meters in post contact, 6 more tackle bus.
The Huddersfield's props are not their strong point, are they?
They're not the strong point.
Chris Hill is still a solid player, but he's not going to turn the game on its head,
Well,
is he?
can I just point out who we're still missing? From this game, Mike Cooper, Liam Byrne, Ethan Havard. Props.
Just
numbered
props.
8, 10 and 14.
That's all our first 3 props.
Our first 3 props.
Well,
if you go by the shirt numbers, Thompson would be your
probably
front 4,
third.
wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
With Mago as probably your 5th choice. If
I'd
you go
have-
off the squad numbers.
if you go off the squad numbers, yeah, but I'd have Dupree before.
Dupree.
before.
Like, is there any one of them 3 that are missing?
These are
that
just-
don't walk into.
No, these are just the big names that would definitely play, because we're missing other forwards as well, as everyone knows. Walters and SA
December.
and December, but particularly prop forwards who would definitely play: Havard and Byrne, and probably Cooper. I don't know how you fit them all in if they're all fit, but that's the problem. They're not going to all be fit, are they?
And it's going to give that opportunity.
They're gonna need
to
rotation.
roll and to rotate people. Harvey Hill did another very decent job when he came on.
I've been impressed with Heather Hill of what I've seen of him.
Me too.
I'm
For
liking
me,
the look of
for
Heather
me,
Hill.
his next step is to start playing 40, 50 minutes.
But
I don't know whether that's his style.
I think he needs to do that at London or at Toulouse or at Wakefield
Yeah.
when he's not playing for us.
Well, he might have this opportunity this week playing London.
Mm.
But that's obviously the next step in his growing. And same for Tiaki Chan to develop the minutes that he's playing and have them impacts. I was impressed with Chan when he came on. Obviously, very unfortunate to go off with the HIA,
Injury, wasn't it? Yeah.
which I want to talk about in a minute. But from what I saw of him, very impressed. And they're going to have to rotate him.
He's clearly game.
Yeah.
He come in, put his hand up for a lot of carries in the short time that he was on. Sometimes twice in one set.
He looked disappointed to have to come off. Obviously, it's a HIA and he doesn't have a choice over it.
Yeah, but I don't. He obviously passed it because he was back out there.
Yeah.
So I imagine we'll see him again on Saturday.
It's what we want, and this is where competition for players comes in, because when people go out, you've got to use that opportunity to try and cement a spot and say, I need to go out here and make sure Matty Pete don't keep me off the team sheet next week, even if Cooper's coming back in or whoever's coming, Byrne comes back in. So this is what you need. Competition's a good thing.
I just think there was times last year where we had to play people who had to play props. So Piers Paul did it, and so did Smithies. But we also probably had to rush a couple of people back. We had to rush Havard back in the semi-final.
Byrne were playing with painkilling
Byrne
injections, wasn't he? Pete come out and said
Famously,
that for a while,
Byrne.
didn't he?
Yeah.
Byrne was
And
playing
I
through
just
the pain
think,
barrier.
you know what? Imagine if last year we could have given Havard another week off and we didn't have to rush him back at Hull KR. You have him for the back end of the season. Just things like that.
Oh, Havard didn't play against Hull KR.
In the semi-final.
The final was Havard's first game back. I'm sure of it.
I'm going to check that. I think I'm sure he came back and went off again with a quad injury.
That was in the final.
No, I know he did it there, but
Oh, right.
all right, I'll check in a
I don't
sec.
know.
But we don't have to rush people. Oh, was it Isa that came back and got injured in the semi?
So that was the Hull KR semi
Sorry,
in the cup.
yeah.
Yeah, that was Isa.
Isa went off and whatever because he had to be rushed back.
Yeah, he rushed back for the semi-final, got injured in the first half.
And then we were missing for 6 weeks.
Even though he'd
whatever it was.
started the match well. I remember now, yeah.
Yeah.
Isa, it was Isa.
That we've had to do that a couple of times just to get people in and field out a side that can win these big games. And by developing a squad that's probably got too many props that you would traditionally say, or two top quality props,
Well,
it
everyone-
just gives us
yeah.
that depth of
Everyone's got a lot of forwards this year.
being able to take time. So obviously Marshall gets his hat trick.
Yep.
3 very good moves.
Yeah. Wardle delaying the pass to the absolute perfect moment every single time.
Yeah.
I thought it was ironic because I said this to you, Tom, when I was watching the game live, where Marshall, I think, scored 2 at this point. And I said, it's weird. I said, he's scored 2 tries, but we actually seem to be cutting him open more on the right-hand side. It was Kieran and Miskey who kept on making breaks, and they couldn't kind of finish off and make a try, but they were kind of making...
We did score one, didn't we? Where
We got one,
French
yeah,
scored.
with French, but obviously seemed to be cutting him up and making our breaks on the right-hand side, but then reaping the reward of that on the left-hand side.
That's the teamwork,
Yeah.
though.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
I like from us, and I've seen it a little bit more this year, that we've seemed to go punch. So we've gone right, and there was a moment in the first half where we went right, and French was a second receiver. He gives it off to Field, and Field gets involved in a bit of a tackle, but offloads, but he can't make it round to go all the other way, and we just shifted. So Field was stood at 9. We went to Cade Ellis, Harry Smith. French had looped round the other side, effectively doing the full-back role for an attack on the other side.
That's
and I can't remember if
smart.
the ball made it to him or if we just decided to play short.
We
to
did
Farrell.
bomb one as well, didn't we, on the left-hand side?
Yeah. But that adaptability to go, right, Field's caught up here, so I'm going to jump in at first marker, at first receiver.
Was what Penrith call the bang bang play,
Yeah.
which is because they've got a fullback that can ball play and they've got a 13 that can ball play,
It-
where you open them up down one side and immediately shift the ball. The late hit on Liam Farrell, which was off the back of Jake Wardle's break, when he caught the ball on his own try line and left foot step and was down, stepped a few people. Did you give it to Marshall? Marshall got tackled or some. Field was on the
Field was
inside.
bombing
and
on the
you
inside.
couldn't give it to him. We then just immediately shifted right and Farrell got taken out, and that was the 2 points we took, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picked
That-
up is it a 1-game ban?
No, he got a fine for that. Him,
You got a fine.
yeah, because he did do something wrong, but it was just he only pushed him
Just a
over,
bit
really.
late.
Just late push.
So, talking about the yellow cards, let's jump to that. The Huddersfield man picked up a 1-game card, Adam Milner, for his high shot on Tyler Dupree.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
yeah. I don't know.
I wonder whether yellow is sufficient. By the rulings that they give so far, I think
It's definitely a
it's
1-game
definitely right.
I wouldn't have been disappointed if this was just a penalty, because he loses height just before contact, and he's lining up a normal. I know it's a Sungi now, but he's lining up a normal tackle around the waist, and by the time he makes contact, he's lost half his height.
I just think the issue that he has there is that he wasn't involved in the tackle beforehand. He sort of is away from the tackle and gets to coming as the third, fourth man. And I think you just can't risk it in this game at the moment.
I can see why Kieran got binned as well, even though
So soft.
I don't think he should have been.
I don't even think he's tried to throw the ball away. I think he just dropped it behind him. Like
no,
you
he's
see.
definitely tried to throw it behind the
You
ball.
see that 10
But
times a game.
But with 10 seconds left, delaying the restart is stupid anyway. And yeah, I don't get that. By the letter of the law, it probably is a yellow card, but it's a silly one.
Just silly. Is there a need for it?
I don't think, like you said, I think we see many examples of that. But, players picking up or just kicking them off to the side, or, trying to slow the game down. If you're giving it for Kieran for that, like you said, you could give 10 a game for stuff like that.
I just think if that ball doesn't drop on the other side of the barrier and it drops on the field side, he goes, picks it up and just goes. But anyway, Connor then gets to complain because that's Jake Connor. Can we stop this obsession with Jake Connor?
I'll tell you what, he tried to ref this game, didn't he?
Don't get me started.
And the halfback's just as bad. Clune.
Yeah.
There was a great picture of England appealing for an LBW. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It was like Hull KR man gets trapped in the ruck, all the rest of Hull KR's players, and they were all appealing behind the sticks. That is genuinely what it's become.
Yeah.
And Huddersfield were at it all the time. The arm waving. I thought Jake Connor was going to take off. He was waving his arms that
It was
much.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, we were sat up obviously together and we were commenting throughout the game, weren't we, Tom? But and we know what he's like as a player, you know, and he likes getting under the opposition's skin. But he's in the FC, he's running up, he's grabbing hold. Every time he gets tackled, he's standing up and he's pushing the markers, even though there was nothing wrong with it.
That one.
He had a pop at Brad O'Neill.
I tell you what.
And then Brad O'Neill went and got whoever took the neck carrying got scragged by the collar and threw him down to that. Right, you can thank Jake Connor for that, for taking him off. Jake Connor owes you a drink for that.
You know what I found really funny with that? And
Jake Connor owes Murchie a drink as well. That was a hospital ball where he got smashed by ice.
Yeah, it was.
But that incident that he had with Brad O'Neill, he gets up and gives him a shove, and O'Neill gives him one back, and he lost it then, Connor, from that point on, I don't think got tackled again for the rest of the game. Every single time there was a kick, just offload.
He had cleanest shots on field at full time, Jake Connor.
I thought that was embarrassing
Tom.
because no matter what any opposition fans want to say about, Tompkins tried to ref the game and he tried to do this, when it got tough, then players got involved, and you'd find them in the middle of everything.
We're talking about Tompkins, Danny Maguire.
Yeah, they were there when it mattered.
They stepped up.
Even like someone like Luke Gale.
Yeah.
At least
Jake Connor went
he's getting
missing.
stuck in.
They kept saying, he can do this and he can do that, Jake. He can make magic. He did absolutely nothing.
Jake Connor is, and we've got Sky Sports with this old Jake the Snake and the obsession for him. Jake Connor, right, we know he's a good player, we know he's got talent.
Yeah.
He can play full-back, he can play half-back, he can play centre and play all those positions well.
Yeah.
He could be a benefit to so many teams.
Yeah.
But whenever you put him, and it's alright, and don't get me wrong, Huddersfield might go to London and he might, and no disrespect to London, but he might look like the best player on field. But he comes up against a Wigan. You guarantee someone like Harry Smith, Johnny Lomax, for example, even when they play the big games, they can still look like the best player on the field. Whenever Jake Connor's side comes up against a tough one, he goes missing.
Well, I suppose
Remember that when he was at OFC?
that can still be true, and he could still be like, I don't mind the Jake the Snake stuff, honestly, because I've been saying for years we need to market our players.
Yeah.
I said a couple of weeks ago, was it maybe last week, where I talked about how Reece Martin should be all over Super League's marketing. He's a perfect person. Well, Connor is really, because he plays that position, and he's recognisable. He's got the nickname, and he is talented. I do think that he is a marketable player, let's say.
Yeah.
But if you compare him to somebody else who is very marketable and is Sky Sports' favourite, which is Wellesby, he's not as talented as Wellesby and he isn't as good in the big games.
You can't even lace Wellesby's boot.
No, I know that, but he's also not challenging at the top of the table. He never has really, has he? And so I get why.
I wonder why that is. Why is a Wigan Saints, a Leeds, whoever?
But you know when Hastings was at Salford and everything was Hastings, he was challenging for the Cup and the Grand Final.
And the Man of Steel.
And now he's left and Salford aren't. Now, I know it's not just him. It wasn't just all down to him. But he was the Man of Steel. He got them into the final. And, he did really well. And so you think, right, so one player...
Brodie Croft's just done it for Salford.
Yeah, exactly. One player can make that difference.
He can take you to the next level.
I think, honestly, you just said then, Tom, why he's not been picked up by Wigan Saints. I think that's possibly what he's missed from his career. Because he's probably needed someone like a Sean Wayne for Wigan who just says, listen, cut all this crap out, getting up, shoving, trying to, get under people's skin and just focus on doing your job, playing rugby, sticking to a game plan and, executing well. And that's probably what... And I know some people say, well, you can't do it, Jake Connor, that's just the player he is, that's just who he is, you can't change that or whatever.
Look at Harry Newman this year.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Worked with Wayne under... And I'm not saying... Sean
Yeah,
Wayne
even before that, Chev Walker.
Yeah.
Chev Walker took him under his wing last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
A guy who was a classy centre himself.
And just give him a bit of insight. Listen, you're talented, but you're getting a bad name for yourself. You need to do X, Y, and Z. And he's gone away and done it, and it's made all the difference.
Yeah.
And I just think
That's what he needs to do,
he's missed it.
Connor.
But it's too late now.
Well, I don't think it's too late.
Well, that won't it?
He still have a few good years left in, definitely.
But
We talk about Tom Forber.
Tom Forber, the young 9 came on. He only played
15, I
15,
think,
20
15
minutes.
left.
Got an assist to his name.
I
Yeah.
was really impressed with that.
And when he came on, I said, keep it simple. But he kept it simple, but he did speed us up.
Yeah, I will say, obviously, I feel like every 9 does it when they come on for the first game. They always throw a wayward pass from dummy half, first of all. And it was above Harry Smith's head. And
Adrenaline pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put too much on it. He sat on the bench for an hour and a bit.
But he did well just to take... Harry Smith did it and obviously got the kick away and we dealt with it. But then he came in and he made his tackles, and he's obviously not the biggest lad. He's quite short in stature. But there was one tackle that he put in where he really got under the rib cage of... I can't remember who it was now. A name will come to me in a second. But put a bigger effort in. And I just think you've got to do that early on in your career. Just make a couple of big tackles and show that you're ready to wrestle and you're ready to work. And maybe in players that haven't been successful in their Wigan careers haven't shown that defensive side of the game. And that you can be trusted in them games. And I think he did that. And I'll let you talk about his try assist from 9. But I was really impressed with his defensive side. I know he's only made maybe 10 tackles or been involved in 10. But he was effective and he played a part in them. He wasn't just a passenger in them for me. And I think that's what stood out for me more than anything. He stood out when Brad O'Neill made his debut.
Yeah. Well, he kept it simple for his try assist as well.
Yeah.
He come off the back of a good run by Thompson. He shot out a 9. And obviously there was a quick play of the ball, so the markers were nowhere. And he draws the defender in, squares up a defender, keeps them honest. Short ball, and it's Dupree, 1-on-1.
Running at a shoulder.
Running at, was it Wilson? I can't remember. Anyway, whoever it was, he was running straight at somebody's shoulder. There's only one winner there, Dupree, from that far out. You're not stopping him. You know, you could have all the best defenders in the league 1-on-1 there. I don't think they'd have stopped him.
No.
You know, George Williams. Who else is a great defender? I feel like now Chris McQueen's left. I can't say anybody else. That was always Chris McQueen, wasn't it?
Yeah. But before we wrap this section up, I just want to remind you something. This is the most amount of points that we've conceded in an actual game, and what I mean by that is not a friendly, since we played since we played Lee, after the Hull KR semi on the 29th of July.
That's ridiculous.
We conceded 18 points to Lee
at
home in a 44-8 win.
And 12 of them were the last few minutes.
And
that's
since
ridiculous.
then, we've conceded 6 against Hull KR, 12 against Hull FC, nilled Catalans, 8 against Salford, nilled Leeds, 6 against Cass, 6 against Lee, 12 in the semi-final against Hull KR, 2 in the grand final. This season, we conceded 4 against Cass, the 12 against Penrith.
And how many was it this game? 16?
16.
That's ridiculous. To go back to July is ridiculous. That was round 20 last season, wasn't it? So 7 plus the 2, so 9.
12 games.
12 games.
In 12 games, we have not conceded
3 tries.
More than 12 points.
Not conceded 3 tries in 12 games.
That's ridiculous.
We conceded 3 tries, but they didn't all get kicked. You know what I mean?
That's phenomenal.
It is.
No, you are right. We haven't conceded 3 tries in a game because anyone that was close, they've had goals kicked. So it is key. Defences win your titles. They win your big games.
That's what they say. Attack wins your games. Defence wins your tournaments and championships.
That is I can't believe that.
If you're shipping 20 points a game, you need to score 5 tries every game.
Yeah.
And that's not a common feat. So, like I said, I'm absolutely buzzing with where we are.
Yeah.
The result. almost the perfect game. I don't think we walked away with any injuries.
No suspensions.
No injuries.
Did a job.
Mago looked a little bit tired. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. He kept a little
coming
knock.
on and then coming back
Mago
off.
didn't play very long, did he?
He did a big stint in the first half, but then 6 minutes, and I think it might have been 2 or 3 minutes.
He literally, they come on, and then, because I thought it was for a head injury assessment, and it wasn't. I said, has he come on just whilst doing it? And then the guy's passed, so he's been subbed back off, and it wasn't. It was just a case he was off after like 2 minutes.
So maybe there was a little bit of a knock there. We might see a rest for.
Yeah, he might get rested on Saturday. We don't know.
Mago.
Well, when will we find that out? Matty Peets will be talking on Thursday, won't he?
Yeah, we might find out Thursday.
We'll find out then.
But right, I think that wraps everything up for Wigan.
Yeah.
Oh, good game, and we'll be back shortly to talk about the rest of the Rugby League. So we're going to have a look at the rest of Super League. It was round 3. Obviously Wigan have only played 2 games, and we'll talk about the team that's also only played 2 games, Lee. They travelled over to the Totally Wicked to play Saints.
I still expect it to be Centurions sometimes.
I know.
It's only been a year and a bit.
Yeah, it still feels like
It's like you should have said Centurions after that. You didn't even say Leopards, but it just felt like you should have said Centurions.
But to be fair, I do feel like it's growing on me now.
It's growing on me, but I also think Centurions was a cool name.
Yeah.
And if a new team comes in, I'd just call it Centurions, because why not? I think
Yeah.
it's a cool name. But I am liking the Leopards.
Right. So
Brand
this
name.
was 12-4 to Saints. At full time, it was 4-0 at half time. Tries from Saints were Makinson, Wellesby, and 2 conversions.
The
from
usual
Percival.
suspects, aren't they? Wilkinson and Wellesby.
Yeah,
Scoring tries.
big time. And Hardacre got Lee's only try.
Yeah.
I want to start with Lee. Obviously, they had their game postponed against Wigan last week. How hard of a start would that be? And same for Huddersfield here.
Huddersfield.
Huddersfield and Lee have both played each other,
Yeah.
and then Saints and Wigan in the first 3 rounds.
But Lee have got Leeds next.
I know.
So it doesn't get much easier for them.
No. Is it at Headingley as well?
I can't remember.
Oh,
No, it must be at
exactly.
home, because they were meant to be away to us and away to Saints. So it must be at home.
So a really, really tough start for Lee. I think they put up a good fight here, but Saints just showed a little bit too much quality and determination and that grit that Saints have always had. So I think Lee put in a very, very good performance, and far better than what they put in at Huddersfield 2 weeks earlier.
We lost, I think it was the same score. We lost by 8 then. Was it 12?
No,
I thought it was 16-8 or something.
16-8, yeah.
It was 8 points both times.
Yeah, they've not been really battered, but I think they'll be far happier with this result than obviously the previous result at Huddersfield.
Yeah, I think there's a performance to build on for them. I think the unfortunate thing is they've had a couple of injuries in this game.
Yes.
It's going to set them back, which I'm sure, I don't know if you're
Yeah.
going to go through the trial, you're going to get straight into talking about that, but
Asiata
it
was
was
injured.
well, Asiata
And
got
Briscoe.
sin binned, didn't he, in the opening
He's not been
minute.
banned, has he, though? That's it.
Well, no, he's not been banned, but
Th-
you
this-
saw him hobble off and go on the crutches.
Well, to be honest with you, it was obviously for one of these kind of like one-on-one cannonball tackles, wasn't it? And I think because obviously he's got reputation from last season. Obviously, it was against Saints where he's injured 2 Saints players.
Yeah.
It
He's
was the
then-
first tackle.
He's then flew in on. Who did he fly in on?
It's Matautia.
I think it was Matauti. It was Matauti who flew, and then Knowles reacts badly and goes and grabs him and says, "Don't you think about doing that again?" And then the ref gets involved and shows him the yellow card, and he's furious with the decision, saying it was a legal tackle. I actually don't think this one was as bad as the ones from last season.
No, it
Look,
wasn't.
I'm just looking at the
But
charge.
he's got
here.
a bad reputation.
He was graded A, dangerous contact, and given a not applicable. So is that saying that he did nothing wrong?
I don't know. Or just that what he did wasn't that bad.
Yeah, mate, I
Penalties
don't think
seemed
actually.
insufficient, maybe.
Watching it, I don't think it was as bad as the ones from last season.
But for me, if they're giving a grade A, and they give a grade A to the guy at Adam Milner's picked up a 1 ban. And Asiata's
Was that a
picked-
grade A, Adam Milner?
Yeah. Oh, a grade B, sorry. Head
Oh, there you go,
contact,
yes.
sorry. And got a 1 game ban. Asiata's got the same punishment at the game, 10 minutes in the bin. And
Yeah.
been given a grade A, not applicable.
So they must have said sin been sufficient then for Asiata.
Yeah.
Yeah, or that he's got it wrong. And
But
he
he'll
shouldn't
not
have been
play anyway, because you saw him
Yeah,
on the
he's been
crutches. And
No.
Briscoe followed him.
Just while we're on about sin binnings, and let's talk about a non-sin binning. Conrad Hurrell. with his try-saving tackle on Ricky Latelli.
Yep.
But he's now got a 1-game ban. For
Try
head
saving
contact.
head clash.
What, head on head?
Head on
It
head.
was head on head, yeah.
I've got a question for you, and I don't want, because I hate this in the game. I hate players staying down and waiting for the video ref to get involved and whatever. But Latelli gets up and just shakes it off. If Latelli stays down, bear in mind he's got a 1-game ban for it, so they've graded it grade B, and it's the higher end of the grade.
He'd have been given a red card.
He at least gets a sin binning. The fact that Latelli gets up has actually negatively affected Lee. Maybe he has to go for a HIA, but they need to get a penalty.
No.
And this is where...
This is why players are staying down.
It's leading to players staying down.
This is why players are waving their arms like Connor.
Yeah. If the ref still give the right decision, which probably, according to the match review panel, and I'm not saying this is what I think should happen, but he should have got 10 minutes at least. Or at least a penalty.
Yeah.
And that changes the outcome of that game massively. Leon Saints' line down to 10 men or another repeat set massively changes the game.
It's going to put Sky Sports in an unusual position as well because they were bigging up the hit. Saying, oh, what a great shot that is.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it, and now we find out that it was an illegal shot, so what do you do then?
It's so harsh, isn't it? Because, you've got Ricky Latelli, a very big body.
Fast
going
as
for
well.
the line. Hurrell, you want to advertise. You don't advertise like scores, but he's putting his body on the line. He's doing everything he has to try and save his try line, and
But the amendments to
he's accidentally hit him in the head with his head. So,
But the amendment to the rules said any head-on-head.
no, I
initial
get it.
contact.
I get it. I know what you're saying. I just think
And
it's
that's head-on-head initial contact.
it's hard though, as you know what I mean, because it's like. I get what you mean, yeah, according to the rules, you are right, that's what I know, but I would like to, you were on about marketing before, I'd like to market rugby league on that, those last-ditch efforts, like do or die, that's what you do to save your line, and he's not been dirty and took his head off with it, do you know what I mean?
I fully agree with you.
It's the position the game's in at the minute.
JBL clothesline.
Yeah, oh my God, I don't know. Like, yeah.
I fully agree with you, Lewis, but I'm just saying, by the rules of the game, you can't market it as...
Yeah, you can't market an illegal tackle as good.
It's my annoyance
I get
with Good Friday. It's the same annoyance I have with Good Friday.
JBL will be a good second row, do you reckon?
Oh yeah, he'd have stopped regular telly.
But I just want to say, that's my annoyance with Good Friday, that they show the famous fight 2004. But you throw a punch now, you're automatically in the bin.
Yeah.
Or you're out for the game.
Automatic red if you throw a
That's
punch,
what I mean.
yeah.
I just think...
Even if Johnny Lomax says you're throwing a punch again, automatic red.
Yeah.
Remember that one from last year?
But I just think you can't market the game with something that you're trying to outlaw.
Yeah,
And Sky going and saying, oh, what a hit. Brilliant, great work from Conrad Hurrell. To then ban him, you can't use that as showing our game off and putting it in the Twitter clips. When the other clip is he lucky to get a 10 minutes or should it have been a red? An Asiata. And yet he doesn't even pick up a ban.
Yeah.
I just think...
We're in a weird place where we've clamped down and then we've scaled it back a bit, and now we're thinking, well, Hurrell would have probably got 3 games if he did it last week, and now he's only getting 1. So we're in a really weird place, and I'm hoping, and I think it will settle down at some point, and I'm hoping it does, and we all get a bit clearer on what constitutes what. But we were just waiting for that moment right now.
I just love big hits.
Yeah, so do I. I actually watched the video before, the 100 biggest hits in the NRL. I just watched it on repeat because it was brilliant. But
I think Steve Matai occupies all 10 spots.
Steve Matai, what a blast from the past. He used to be an absolute rib breaker.
Right.
Rib tickler.
Shall we move over to Warrington? Warrington also played on Friday. All these games were played on Friday. Warrington versus Castleford. Castleford actually opened the scoring. And
Can we move these games so they're not all at the same time, please? More people would watch it if they were at different times. 15,000 people at the Wigan Huddersfield game, 11,000 at the St Helens game. I don't know what it was at Warrington, but it'll be in between those two numbers probably. How many of them, you'd say maybe 20,000, would want to watch?
Yeah.
The other teams? Maybe.
Listen, I'm just happy they're all on. Like,
It's good they're all
I've
on.
already seen people complaining, going, "Oh, I'm at home watching this game," and you pop the score up in the corner. Like, my God, it happens in football. Like,
Well, that's just stupid. That's just people being deliberately obtuse. I mean, that we need to have different times so they're not competing.
Yeah,
I don't mind
I
throwing
do,
this-
I do think the game will get there. Maybe only 2 on at once. I think 3's a little bit too much, but we'll get there. With
I'd
that,
like
and
it just
I'm-
not to be competing for
I'm just
airtime.
happy.
Yeah, I know what
they're
you
all
mean.
on. But it ended 20 points to 4 at half time, and Warrington then win the game 30 points to 8. Tries for Warrington were Thewlis, Dufty, Philbin, and 2 from Matty Ashton. Ratchford kicking 5 goals. Cass.
Ratchford was back this week. He's not been playing, has he?
No, I don't think he was fully fit though.
No,
Was
but
it?
well, Wrench started the season really well, and Burgess has said that it was a rest for him.
Mhm.
But the fans were a bit surprised to see Ratchford.
I think Ratchford solves a bit of the goal kicking issue though as
Yeah.
well. That they don't have a natural goal kicker along the rest of them. But Josh Sims and Innis Senior. Warrington had a good start to the season. They lost narrowly to Catalans and quite convincing wins against who did they play last week?
Hull.
Hull FC and Cass. Can we look too much into the start of the season? I don't think the two teams that they've come up against have been.
It's gone as you would have expected, I suppose.
That's what I mean. I think that's how I would expect it. This week they've got a big task. They go to Hull KR on Thursday. I think that'll be a true test for them.
That's a good test, yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good
and
test.
a test that they're probably needing now. Castleford. I know I talked about our defensive record before and how we'd done, but can I just run through the points that they've conceded in the start of this season and last season? 30 points against Warrington. They conceded 26 against Salford, 32 against Wigan, 46 against Leeds, 48 against Wigan, 29. Only 12 against Hull where they won, but then conceded 66 and 34 against Warrington and Saints. You cannot win many games if you're conceding that many points, and it seems to be an underlying issue defensively. Even at the game we were at, I heard fans complimenting Jacob Miller for how he attacked the line and our attack looked better. But you can't keep shipping 30 points.
If they're going to win a game, you just mentioned it there when they beat Hull, was it?
Hull, yeah, they
When
kept them to 12.
They kept them to 12. That's what you've got to do.
And when they beat Wakey, they kept them to 12. They beat Warrington, they kept them to 14. And then they won a close one against Leeds where Leeds got 24 points.
That was the Drell Alfords game.
You can't keep conceding points.
Magic that, wasn't it? Magic round.
Yeah.
Alfords, 5 minutes in.
You can't keep conceding major points
No.
and doing this.
No, you can't.
And
Well, that's the new coach, Craig
Lingard.
Lingard, is it? Yeah, that's what he needs to tidy up. He needs to kind of be, and he'll know that he needs to go look and it needs to make him stronger in the defence.
it doesn't get easier for him though.
Well,
They've got to go
it's
to
a tough
Catalans
game.
next week.
Got another tough game. Yeah.
well, with
Then
them trying to.
Leeds, then Salford, and then back to Wigan. My,
Lewis, you're going to say every game's a tough game for
Yeah,
Cass.
it is.
It is, yeah.
Every
Right.
game's without trying to be disrespectful. You could. I think the only one where I would probably back Cass definitely is against London, and again, that's no disrespect to London, but obviously we know they're lacking Super League experience. So on our predictions, I can't see me backing
But we talk
Cass
about
many times at the end of these podcasts.
We'll talk about London in a bit, but they had a pretty decent effort.
Yeah, they did. No, and that's.
I haven't seen that from Cass
It's
yet.
just
I've seen more
Out of London.
out of London
Yeah.
in that performance against Hull than I've seen against.
Well, do you want to
Cass.
go? We might be jumping there if we go straight to
Yeah,
that one.
well, let's do it while we're at it. Let's just skip over to Sunday. We're going to skip Saturday out just for a moment.
Well, we'll talk about it, but just not yet.
Hull FC played London on Sunday, 3:00 kickoff, and they won the game 28 points to 24. It was 16-4 at half time. Tries for London were Morgan Smith, New Brown, Lewis Martin.
It was a Hull.
Tries for Hull, Morgan Smith, New Brown, Lewis Martin, Matty Russell, and Nick Stavley. Darnell McIntosh kicking 4 from 5.
Yeah.
Tries for London, Robbie Story, Lee Kershaw, James Meadows, and Malouda getting 2.
Yeah, it was 5 tries each.
Leyland only kicking 2 from 5. What I've got to ask is, I have a couple of questions. Should he's just gone on loan from Warrington, Joe Bullock, have been sin-binned towards the end of the game for throwing the ball away, same as what Adam Kieran did?
Yeah.
Yeah, which would have massively affected the outcome of that game. And this great effort from London. Was you disappointed in the try they conceded at the end? A little step back on the inside and he walked through almost untouched.
Yeah, but and I'm disappointed with the defence for the Russell try as well because he did the exact same thing. But as I've said to you, this is what London are going to have. They're not Super League fit, they're not Super League ready. So at the end of games, they're going to drop off tackles and they're not going to get back in the 10 metres and face up to the defence. They're just not.
I'm looking at the match stats. London had more possession than them and completed higher than Hull.
There was some long range tries as well in this game. I think Lewis Martin try was long range. There was a really good pick up from an offload for the try that put London ahead right near the end. The Meludi one from the kick. What a pinpoint kick that was from that Italian lad. Yeah. Unbelievable. Pinpoint kick, and Meludi jumped high enough to get it. So there was some real nice rugby played in this game. But there was just some bad defence from both sides towards the end.
Hull FC, according to the Super League Match Centre, completed at 58%.
Oh dear, that's not good enough.
Completion rate of 58%.
That's not good enough.
London only completed at 68%.
It's a weird one, I think, with Hull FC at the minute with
they
Tony
lost.
Smith.
I know they lost.
Go on,
Could he
Lewis
get
Smith.
sacked?
Your point about Tony Smith.
Go on, I just, possibly. I mean, he is under pressure, isn't he? Especially when now he's bought in these signings and obviously it's not gone very well. But I feel like, again, I struggle. Tony Smith, obviously, was at Warrington, first of all, went to Hull KR. He kind of played a different brand of rugby at Hull KR, where maybe he didn't have the biggest team. It was about chucking the ball out, offloads, keeping the ball alive. And it seems a bit weird because he's kind of not gone to Hull FC and put the things in place that Hull KR were doing. But then, so, if they're not offloading the ball, you expect it to be quite pragmatic, complete high kick well. But then obviously they're not doing that either. So it's a bit like, what is the Hull FC game?
If you're going to go with big bodies and rolling teams, you have to complete high.
That's
and
it,
you can't miss tackles. There's no excuses for that. But, I mean, there was obviously Leeds before that. Where he was for a long time, but I think you're more thinking about the modern Tony Smith, because he has changed his coaching style, like you said there, pretty much everywhere he's been. He's got a new sort of style,
philosophy, if you like the word.
Yeah, I just don't know really with Tony Smith.
To answer your question though, Tom, could he get sacked? I think
he's under pressure.
If this season doesn't go well,
the recruitment has been abysmal for years, and they sacked the coach. They sacked Radford on TV.
Things have never recovered from that, if we're being honest.
Who's that?
From when they sacked Radford on TV. They've never
recovered from that. Yeah, you're right. And that was early in the season, wasn't it?
I want to ask something. I know I said, could he get sacked? Do you think there's maybe this is me just playing devil's advocate, or this is me thinking Tony Smith is a better coach than what I'm giving him credit for. Do you think he might just be eyeing up next year? Maybe they've got cap issues, maybe there's big money tied up in certain players and they need to get him off contract, and he's looking long term. Can we get 10 to 15 games in players that are a bit younger and get them Super League ready for next year? And I don't think the Hull fans would accept that.
No, there's an expectation with the whole fan base.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me looking long term at a project, because they've not been good enough for 5-6 years.
No, to me, that when we were kids, they were always decent, and I always think of Hull as like they were a bit like a yardstick. I've said this before. They were always a good side.
Yeah.
But they lost to the really good sides.
Yeah.
They never quite made it. They won the cup and a couple of times.
Always the bridesmaid.
Yeah, but in terms of grand finals, obviously they never made one.
They played Saints.
2006, I think.
They made one and didn't win it. So they're obviously were a really good side, but the great sides could beat them. And that was almost like, well, if you can beat Hull, we know you're a decent side. Whereas now, it doesn't feel like that. And if I'm being honest with myself, it hasn't been for a while.
No.
And yet I do still think, Hull, they're a hard team to beat.
Yeah.
They'll be a hard team to beat.
It must be so frustrating for the fan base, especially what's going over the other side of Hull. You've seen them in a similar position to what you were, But they've managed to kick on, doing stuff well, they're recruiting well, they're playing good rugby, they're building, you can kind of think, and then...
Even when they lose, there's some fight and the fans are behind.
I mean, that's it when you say about the project. I get what you're saying, and possibly, again, the club and Tony Smith will obviously the ones who know about that, but
I
there's
think
still...
the outcome tells you what the objective is. If they don't sack him and this form carries on, obviously they're looking 2-3 years in advance.
Yeah.
If he gets sacked, then they're expecting more immediately. Yeah. I think that's the only way we can judge it, and I hate judging things by the outcome.
Yeah.
Should we move over to Saturday?
Yeah.
I feel like
Saturday.
Super Saturday, 2 games back to back, 2 close games.
Yeah.
Leeds versus Catalan at Headingley.
Good idea that to have 2 games back to back on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
so.
and it works as well because if Catalans play at home, they have the half-5.
Yeah, that's perfect
yeah.
for a Catalan home game. But you could do, when we went to Cass, it was 5:30, wasn't it? You can just about do that. So I reckon Saturday and Sunday you could do that.
Yeah. So 18-10, it was 10-2 at half time. Ash Hanley getting a double, Harry Newman with the other try. 3 goals from Reece Martin, sorry.
Yeah.
And then Chris Satai got the try for Catalan and 3 goals for Artemorg.
Yeah, a few penalty shots.
How do you guys look at this? I want to start with that. How do you look at this game? Because I'm looking going, Leeds lost to Hull KR previously. They were very narrow to a very narrow win over Salford. This is probably the best result to date.
By far.
Yeah.
But Hull KR lost to Salford,
Yeah,
beat Leeds.
and Catalans.
Warrington lost to Catalan. So it's all a bit of a mess, that
Yeah, that middle of the table.
mid of the playoffs.
I think Leeds will probably upset a couple of more big teams, especially when at Headingley and at home.
But I think they've got a
I
slip
did
up on them.
back Catalans in the predictions, but
Yeah.
I think Leeds can upset anybody at home.
Yeah.
They have that about them, don't they?
They were good in this game.
I think it was a real spirited Leeds performance, this game.
You know, I loved more about this game than anything else. Obviously, Cam Smith sets Ashley Hanley up for one of the best.
what a
with
pass
with
that
a
was.
Brilliant pass.
And Leon Ruan with the sidestep in
Yeah.
the lead up to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth watching.
It was a brilliant ball from Cam Smith.
Yeah, that Cam Smith ball.
But the first thing it led to was clips of the Sean O'Loughlin pass to Dan Simonson.
Yeah.
And getting to watch that again.
It
That
was a
man-
similar style pass, but it obviously wasn't
Just
as
not even in
far.
the same league.
It wasn't as far, was it? But
Ash Hanley was in the picture.
yeah. I do think, though, Ash Handley was punished for scoring a try. You know that? So Ash Handley got taken out by Yaha and still scored. And I think the ref was going to give a penalty try, which meant a kick under the sticks. But because he actually scored, he kicked it from out wide and missed. So he was actually almost punished for scoring a try, which is weird. And then there was actually an 8-point try because Tarek Sims hit Newman high, did he?
Yeah,
Well,
he
Newman was
scored.
Newman was scored anyway. So it gives you then he missed that kick, didn't he? So they only got 6 for it, but it's a weird one, that.
It's a funny situation, isn't it, really?
The 8-point try.
Catalan, what do we make of them? They obviously beat Warrington first game after the red card to Mickey Mack.
Yeah.
They lost to Leeds.
Yeah. Some bad injuries for Catalan.
Some bad injuries.
Some injuries that really hurt them.
Still missing.
Prop forwards.
Yeah, still missing Mickey.
We said the prop forwards were a little bit light, but there's a few injuries in there. I thought Catalan were going to be quite good this year. I tipped them to finish second, and they haven't. Although I did back Leeds for this game. I just think that once they get a few bodies back, they'll be okay. I think, and you know, whenever they're playing at home, they're going to be incredibly hard to beat.
Yeah. I
So
don't
they'll-
think it's
so
going to be
they'll
a
be up there.
telling result in Catalan season.
No, I
think
don't.
They'll take the
It
loss, they'll
might
move
be
on
for
to next
Leeds.
week.
It might be for Leeds, but I don't think it will be for Catalan.
Yeah.
I have got a question about Catalans, and I've thought about this a little bit recently. Obviously, they'd signed Jaden Nicarima and Theo Fage. And they've got Mickey. Alex Da Costa was the backup 9 team. They then signed Abdul on loan. Abdul can only really play in the halves.
Yeah.
Do you think that's messed up their plans a little bit,
Nicarima-wise.
Nicarima-wise? Because he played on the bench as a backup 9 in the first game. Mickey got banned. And Alex Da Costa is now the starting 9.
Yeah.
With Nicarima still coming off the bench. Do you think that's just messed up the plans, maybe, the fact how late they've got him?
Nicarima can play 1, 6, 7 and 9. That's
No, I know he can. But if they hadn't got Abdul, Nicarima would have been starting in the house with Farge.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like Abdul and Farge as a partnership, so I think they just saw Abdul was available. Let's get him.
Yeah.
Why
I just
not?
wonder whether it just messes up your plans a little bit, getting someone so late into the...
It's an interesting question. I'd like to put it to Steve McNamara, I suppose.
Yeah, so I'd certainly like to
Have a
ask
good
him.
answer. He would
How
definitely
that
have a
came
good.
about.
He would definitely have a good answer. McNamara.
Right, the 5 o'clock kick-off. Salford versus Hull KR. I don't think anyone saw this game going the way that it did.
Though this was the one everyone got wrong,
Yeah,
because at least I picked for Leeds.
yeah, you picked for Leeds.
Everyone got this one wrong.
Oh,
Everyone had for
showing
Hull
off that you
KR.
picked Leeds again. But
I'm winning.
17-10 it ended up. It was 12-0 at half-time. A really
Yeah.
slow start by Hull KR. They came back into it in the second half, but it was a little bit too late. Tries for Salford, Hankinson and Dion Cross. 4 goals from Mark Sneed and a drop goal. For Hull KR, Jez Litton and Peter Hiku. And then Jez Litton obviously kicked 1 goal from 2.
Who was the sin bin for Hull KR?
Hiku.
So just before Hiku got sin binned, Jez Litton was complaining at a handoff from Laffey. Did you see this?
Yes. And what is that?
Tim Laffey fended him off, and he was complaining,
caught him on the chin,
he's trying to
didn't
get
he?
him sent off for a handoff. And then Hiku just clobbered him and got sin binned himself. So
But
that
also,
was.
no, Hiku got sin-binned later on for
Oh, did it?
dissent to the ref.
So did nothing come of
Has
that?
Hiku been sin-binned in every game this season? He
definitely
got sin-binned
the
against Leeds
Leeds.
for holding down a professional foul, so that was to me. He's been sin-binned this game.
Well, who got sin binned in the Hull? No, it was. Who got
No,
sin
I don't
binned?
think anyone from OK. I did get sorry.
Against Hull FC.
Hull FC, Franklin Pele got sent off, and that is it. Essay, the other prop forward.
He got a
sin-binned.
yellow, didn't he?
Listen, I'm going to check that just while you guys talk about it because
There was definitely.
He's definitely had
definitely-
2 in 3
he's definitely had
games.
2,
Better
yeah.
Hiku.
yeah. So I want to talk about him. Do you think he carries on playing fullback?
Nope.
I can't see. They've got Niall Evalds.
I think Niall Levels is a good one.
I think he'll be full back soon.
Yeah, I
Levels.
liked him when he was at, especially when he was at Salford. And he
Yeah.
were linking up with I think Hastings and who would have been the other half back at that time.
Robert
Hastings
Louis.
was in Robert Louis. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, like when he was coming at the back of those, really. And Jackson.
Don't laugh. Rob Lou was a good player.
I forgot about him.
Everyone forgets about
Everyone does forget about him.
He was
And I know
decent.
Jackson Hastings rated him highly. So he was really dynamic, really quick, really low centre, really had tackle and stuff. And
I think
yeah,
I think they might swap places.
I think you could. I mean,
Well, I think Hiku's. I don't think he'd be a winger, would he?
well, centre. I think won't he, if he's not full back.
Centre, but then how do you drop Gildart or Opacek?
Well, I don't think you do. Maybe Gildart on the wing. I don't know. I think they'll swap places. Hick will be on the wing. I think the only reason he's at full back now. Well, I suppose that he did say when they signed him he was going to play full back, but I just think because Evalds is better on the wing than Hiku, that's why.
No, it was Matt Parcell who got a yellow in the first game.
I thought it was Parcell, yeah.
I just can't. I can't see it working at full back. He's been a centre all of his NRL career that I'm aware of. He doesn't look like a full back. He's not naturally there, and this will be a real slip up for Fulker. I think we both we all agreed that this was a must win really for him. And
Well, no, must win.
not must win. It sounds a bit harsh that,
A
but
banker almost. Like,
if you're trying to be a top team,
you win these
you
games.
have to go and win these games. Tough conditions. Mark Sneed dominated them.
Again.
Do they necessarily have a half back that can
I
do that?
tell you what, Hull FC, back to Hull FC and recruitment, that Mark Sneed looks decent at Salford, doesn't he? That Mark lad putting up those spiral bombs as a half back.
Yeah,
Hull
they
FC
could
should
do
look-
with a
Hull
game
FC could
organiser.
do with a game organiser who could do that.
But do you not think
Let him
Hull
go for
KR
Gale.
Do you not think Hull KR got rid of theirs in Abdul?
Maybe Abdul wanted to go.
He's only on loan. Be back there next year.
I do think Salford are capable of upsetting a few this season, especially at home. You know, I think although the squad depth isn't that big, they're maybe lacking a lot of players. If you know, if a couple of injuries, we know they could be hit hard with lack of depth. But I think they can play good rugby. Paul Will's going to play good rugby. They're a bit fearless with nothing to lose, knowing that they're quite underdogs this season with the players they've lost. So I think they'll go into a lot of games at home thinking, you know what, I've got nothing to lose here, and that could make them dangerous.
Maybe this is the Abdul thing, right? There's a school in the south of France, Tom, that wants to double your wages for 12 months. Do you want to go and live in Perpignan by the sea for 12 months and do your job? And then you can just come back. Yeah, go on then.
Maybe. I just think Mikey Lewis and Tyrone May are very creative players, and I wonder which one of them is going to take on that role of a game organiser, who's going to kick you to touch, who's going to do all the hard work. And I don't necessarily see that in this side. Does that wrap up all the games?
Yeah, happy with that.
So,
Right.
We did run on a bit there. I'm happy with
Yeah,
that.
we have witted on a bit, but you're listening still, so it's all right. We're going to talk about something really quickly, and I say quickly, it'll probably end up being an hour, but
We're not spending an hour on this.
no. The Rugby League, was it
Head of commercial,
head of commercial, has come out and said,
Rodri
or shall we
Jones.
say let slip, he's let slip that there are 20 marquee players in Super League, okay? And now, we can't guess at who they are. We've had a private go,
We've had a stab.
but it's very hard to guess because you have to have one homegrown player
Yeah,
as a marquee player.
it's
and
not.
you can have
It's
two
not necessarily all the players that
stand out.
stand out, even because you don't have to. It can just be a cap management thing. The marquee
Yeah.
player. It doesn't have to be. Oh, we want to pay these guys loads. It might just be a cap management thing.
So, what we're going to have a quick go at is we're going to go through pretty much every club
Yeah.
and talk about who we think is the most marketable player. Who should be the player being advertised? Who should be the player on the adverts? Who should?
Yeah, and they've got a few of these right.
Yeah.
You know they're all over the train stations.
Wellesby man,
They're on the
yeah.
trains. They're not northern trains. I was on the other day. There's nothing like league.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the posters, and they have got quite a few of the players correct, but obviously there's a few more that we can think of.
There's quite a few that can be used. There's opportunities here. So Wigan, who are your names? Field.
The obvious ones are
Field,
Field and French. I do think Miski, because he's a World Cup player from an obscure nation and he scores lots of tries.
yeah.
And then you think about Harry Smith.
I was going to say
Yeah,
Harry
Harry
Smith.
Smith.
England
Harry
number
Smith,
7.
England's number 7, Wigan's number 7, goal kicker.
And I have no problem with these players being used for their international
Oh yeah,
abilities.
of course.
So,
Yeah, credentials.
so when we talk about Warrington, let's just jump there. George Williams should be advertised as England
England
Yeah.
captain
Immediately.
George Williams, Warrington number 6. Yeah, definitely.
Who else do you think? Paul Vaughan?
Paul Vaughan. Yeah, Paul Vaughan probably. He's a big name.
Duffy.
He's obviously exciting.
Powerhouse forward.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
gets people bums off seats, doesn't he, when he goes on those barnstorming runs.
Matty Ashton?
Local lad,
Local lad.
Quick, fast.
played
as
for
lightning.
England, fast as lightning. You could do that, couldn't you? Do you remember when they used to do... Oh, what was it with Tompkins and with... Was it Leroy Kudjoe? I can't...
They had an advert.
It was
and
like
the
superheroes.
Brownlee Brothers. Do you not remember the advert that they had for Super League?
Yeah, I wasn't on about that one, but yeah, I do remember that. It was I was on about when they did Super League players as superheroes, and Tompkins was on there, and there was someone who was super fast then. I can't remember who it was. It was way back in the day, and they had like Leroy Kudjoe on there as like an Iron Man type character because he was so strong, and Earl Crabtree, you know,
Right, yeah.
was a big giant, and they had them as like superheroes. You could do that with Matty
you not
Ashton
think
because
that-
he's rapid.
Do you not
Yeah.
think them adverts actually create so much memories? Because I remember the one that I was just thinking of them with the Brownlee Brothers, and it was like they were jumping against whatever player and they were sprinting
Yeah.
against such a body.
Bradley Wiggins did one.
And they
didn't
did Bradley Wiggins where he did...
I can't
against
do
Tompkins.
this. I couldn't do this. Or whatever.
Oh, he listed a lot of things, and everyone thought it was about cycling. At the end, it went, that's why I could never be a rugby league player.
Yeah.
I feel like you've got to get them adverts out there, get people involved from other sports that love the game. There's loads.
Michael Smith,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke Littler, he's hot at the moment, isn't he?
Why
Yeah.
not use them? And Warrington, fair play to Warrington, I think they've used them quite well.
Yeah. He went on a rugby union thing, some rugby union bloke asked him, why do you only talk about rugby league? And he said, oh, that's proper rugby, that, mate.
Good lad. I
The
like him
nuke.
even more.
Yeah, get him involved. Obviously, Bradley Wiggins is a famous fan of Wigan Warriors, Lee Westwood as well, Roy Keane,
Ryan Giggs.
Giggsy,
Use them.
Michael Carrick, yeah.
Let's have a look at Saints. Marketable players there.
The obvious one is
Yeah,
Jack Wellesby,
Wellesby.
but Johnny Lomax as well.
Johnny Lomax.
Those
Darren
and
Clark.
I'll tell you who else. marketable, and these are people who are not the best players, because obviously Wellesby and Lomax are the best players. Conrad Hurrell's marketable.
Yeah, he is. Definitely.
Character,
Definitely.
fans' favourite.
Yeah.
Parsi, fans' favourite, you know.
Yeah.
Them sort of people who are not from Britain, you know.
Not from the M62.
Not from the M62.
Right. Should we do Catalans next?
Yeah.
First name that jumps out to me, Artemorg, and then
Yeah.
Theo Fage.
Arthur Morg and Fage are the two, aren't they?
Two-
Could do like Ben Garcia's like Iron Man.
Yeah,
type
he could
thing,
be an Iron Man
strong,
type
independent,
character.
yeah, superhero type
There's
character,
something here, isn't there?
resilient.
A superhero, but like Ben Garcia is a good idea for that.
French lads.
Yeah, the French lads, definitely. Definitely the French lads. I mean, you could talk about Johnston if you wanted, but I think the French lads for
Yeah,
Catalan.
Johnston could be used on an international.
Yeah, as an international level.
Hull KR. Who stands out for you at Hull KR?
Oh, Mikey
Probably
Lewis.
Mikey Lewis,
It has
hasn't
to
it?
be Mikey Lewis. Yeah, I couldn't even. I probably wouldn't even put anybody else in there just because of how much Mikey Lewis. But I guess Ryan Hall,
Ryan Hall.
if you're going along
England veteran.
the superhero line of he's a veteran as well.
I'm only following the league table in this.
Yeah,
order,
yeah, sure.
but Salford.
Salford, they've used Mark Sneed,
Yeah.
and I don't mind that because
How about-
he's a
how about
local
the new
lad.
signing?
Nenny Mc-
Nofaluma.
Oh, Nofaluma. I was going to say Nenny McDonald, but Noffa is a great shout.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
big name over in Australia
Yeah,
anyway.
and you can market him with that try that he scored when I was there, where he was
Upside down.
down when he scored. He was upside down.
He's
Yeah, and
definitely a marketable
Noffa,
player.
I reckon Noffa. But the two centres as well are
The two
marketable guys. Yeah.
Really? He seems to be on a lot of things. He's been on Channel 4 talking.
Signature celebration, good talker.
Holds himself very well,
Yeah.
very highly. Leeds. Obvious one straight off the bat. Brodie Croft.
Brodie
Yeah.
Croft, definitely.
Newman.
Reece Martin.
Yeah, how are you?
Leeds have got a lot actually.
Yeah, they've got a lot of players.
Even
Lockie Miller, yeah.
the new
Lockie
signing,
Miller.
Yeah.
Lockie Miller, he played rugby union,
So he played rugby sevens today.
rugby sevens.
Yeah.
So you can reach into another audience there.
Leeds have got quite a few then.
Yeah. Huddersfield.
Well, it's Jake the Snake, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Jake the
It's
Snake.
Jake the Snake. Yeah, I think it's only Jake really.
Lower here.
He doesn't really play.
He's not been playing.
I think it's just Jake.
Would have been Will Price before he left. wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
true,
Really,
that's a good shout.
one.
Yeah.
Will
Like,
Price.
Straight, good step, quick.
Well, actually, Will Price and Kai Pearce, Paul would have been perfect for
Yeah.
that. You know, Kai Pearce is someone from London who looks different and he has a different threat.
Definitely. Lee.
Well, Lamb, for certain.
Yeah.
Matt Moylan. Big name over
Matt
in Australia.
Moylan's a big name in Australia. And Charnley.
I was going to throw another one out to you. Ipape.
Ipape.
I feel like
But I think if you're going for the PNG thing, you've got the father-son Lachlan Lamb. But Ipape could be like with the superhero route again.
Right, we're going to jump over to Hull FC. This is where I've struggled a little bit.
Hull FC, it's the enormous forwards. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be. It's their unique selling point. They've got the biggest props in the league. They're enormous. Pele, SASA, Liggy Sow. It's got to be them as, like, if we're talking superheroes, as Hulk-type characters. Because they've got that, what other clubs don't have.
Yeah. Over to Cass.
Oh, Cass. You know when I said I'd easy get one for every team?
Yeah.
And I had London locked up. And then you've just said Cass.
Miller.
Paul McShane, ex-Man of Steel winner.
It's got to be Paul McShane, hasn't it?
Yeah,
That's so
probably.
so depressing. Paul McShane, most marketable. But no, I've got one. You know who I'm going to say? Jason Gary.
Yeah.
He's got an unusual name. He plays for Fiji and he scored when he was still at school. He had to have the day off school to play against St Helens. That's it.
Yeah.
Jason Gary.
You've been confident on this one, Matty. Who you in for London?
For London, I actually think there's a few. Now I've thought about it. There's the two Leland brothers from Kent who headed up all rugby league down south pretty much. You got Alex Walker, and I reckon the two Italians.
Yeah.
Do something with them together.
Yeah.
Campagnolo and Natoli, especially Natoli because he was a plumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This aren't
Yeah.
But that's got to be a part of the thing about...
rags to riches.
Yeah. Coming from nothing to play in the top league in England.
And they got signed off the back of playing in the World Cup, which was in England, and doing well in the
I
World
feel like
Cup.
that'd be a perfect selling point. That there's this weird thing, and I always think it watching Wigan, but these lads are local lads.
A lot of them are, yeah.
A lot of them are. You get your Aussies that come over, but most of them grew up somewhere in Lancashire, Yorkshire, and there's always that feeling of you could know someone who makes it, or I went to school with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have that feeling in football.
No.
And I think that has to be a unique selling point of rugby league, that we can get there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily me. I'm past my best. I've got a knee problem and things like that. But
Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason you didn't make it, is it? Your rugby career was stelling until the edge of the inch.
I'm still down there to my one try for deanery.
Down for deanery high school.
But you get my point though, that we all know people that have gone on to play some
100%.
level of Super League or Championship rugby.
Rev?
Ref.
We know a couple
The
of
community
referees.
feeling as well, the fact that, you used to be so close to players, they've got a fan village, it's not where, and I get why footballers do it, but they're not as kind of protected from the fans, are they? It's so approachable, and like Wigan's done the open training sessions at Robin Park and stuff like that. That's a really good selling point for our game.
Just weird things, but like after the game, my dad and his mates went into the fan village. I had to fire off and whatever, and I got a picture of him still with Bevan French. I was like, imagine seeing
Well, Kevin De Bruyne wouldn't do that, would he?
Kevin De Bruyne and Marcus Rashford, the equivalent superstars of the game, just sat there in his kit after the game, going chatting to players, going chatting to fans and whatever. I think that's what we've got to really market.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, we'll wrap that up.
I like that superhero idea, though, Lewis.
Yeah.
Run with that, that's a good idea.
We'll sort something out then.
Well,
Right, we'll wrap that up, and when we come back, we'll talk about a few bit of news, Wigan, and something happened in Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
What happens in Vegas?
Doesn't stay in Vegas, as we're going to talk about it on this podcast.
Yeah.
See you then.
Thank you, we'll be back. Thank you for joining us for this third section. We're going to start off with some news from Wigan. The Wigan Warriors women team started off their 2024 season with a pre-season friendly over at Featherstone Rovers. 46 points to 6.
Is it still called the Big Fellas Stadium?
I don't know. Also, I know it was at home, my mistake. It was at Sutton Park where Lee Miners play. 46 points to 6. The new recruit, Elise Derbyshire, hat-trick. We're on 9 tries. A great start for the thing. But again,
That's good for a first game, getting a hat-trick.
definitely very good.
Debut to remember.
What I want to say is conceding 6.
Yeah, nice.
Similar conversation to what we've already had. We won't be able to go through all the tries. But again, great start getting off to a win. No, it's only a pre-season friendly, but good start. So
Yeah.
Well done, ladies.
Happy with that. Let's.
that'll be Dennis Betts' first game in
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
well not competitive, but yeah, Dennis Betts off to winning ways with his first friendly win. That's good.
Now we've seen news of the European
Club Challenge.
Club Challenge for the wheelchair game.
I don't know if they do wheelchair rugby. I mean, they must do because Australia put a team in the World Cup, didn't they? But it wasn't very good. Australia wheelchair rugby, but there's no World Club Challenge, but there's a European Club Challenge with Wigan as we won the league. Again, it'll be against Catalans Dragons. Now it's at Robin Park.
What day is it again?
It's April the 6th. It's a Saturday at 6 p.m. I'm gonna. We'll be there. It's going to be interesting. We haven't actually been live to watch wheelchair rugby yet, have we?
No, I've not had the chance,
But
unfortunately.
we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a big game. Hopefully we can get it done. I know Catalan are a good team.
Catalan are a very good team.
They've won the Challenge Cup a couple of times in a row, and they obviously won the French division.
It'd be really impressive if we can win another piece of
That would be impressive. I think it'll probably be a similar sort of... We'll be the underdogs again, I think, even though we're at home against
You know what I
Catalan.
really liked as well, I've got to say, in the fan village before Wigan's game at Huddersfield. They walked through the 3 trophies that Wigan held, but they also took through the wheelchair grand final trophy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
And another trophy that I didn't see. It was stood behind. Well, someone was holding it.
Was a Locker Cup, maybe? We've got that.
I can't remember what it was. But just everything together. Obviously, we'll be there backing Det Robertson and
His teammates,
the guys there to get the win and bring another trophy to Wigan.
Let's hope for that, yeah. So I was looking at when the season actually starts. That'll be the first game.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing any friendlies, but they haven't been announced if they are, I don't think. But that'll be the first game. Then they've got the Challenge Cup in April. And we have to play Halifax in that. We're going to play Halifax in the Challenge Cup. And then the season starts, the Super League season starts in June. There's 5 teams in the Super League. Only 5 teams. Halifax are in the London Roosters, Wigan, Leeds and Hull. Yeah, those are the 5 teams.
No, okay.
Yeah, be really good for the lads to
and the good thing is there's 15 teams in the division below, which is a big increase, I think. They're split into East, West and maybe South. I don't know.
That's really good.
So they're split into 5s, but there wasn't 15 teams definitely in the Championship last year.
No.
So them teams, they're playing in something that's like the 1895 Cup. I can't remember what it's called. Like,
I'm going to say, Wigan also have a second team now. So were they participating
yeah,
in that?
they must be in the Championship. One of the championships, I imagine. I don't know. I'll look in for that.
We'll speak to Deck and find out what's going on there.
With the second team, because
I'll let you guys know.
Yeah. He coaches them, doesn't he?
Yes.
He's Deck's the coach of the second team.
Should we jump over to Vegas?
I won't mind doing
I wish we did, yeah, for Sunday. Saturday, whatever it was.
I know everyone's been talking about taking the World Club Challenge there as well. I'd have been gutted. We wouldn't have been able to go.
No, we wouldn't have been able to go.
I might have to get a new job so I can go. Because what an experience. 40,000 people in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Allegiant Stadium, the name of that. Las Vegas State. It's brand new.
It looked phenomenal.
It's probably like 2 or 3 years old. Vegas is got big booming in the sports market. It's to do with gambling. It's all to do with gambling. Spare a thought for the people of Oakland, because the NFL team is from there that moved to Las Vegas, and the baseball team is about to leave now, so Oakland's going to be left with no pro sports teams. Imagine the team just leaving.
I still find that
relocating in Vegas.
Relocating to Vegas, yeah. Your team that you've loved all your life. Oakland A's have been there forever. The Raiders have moved about a bit, but Oakland Athletics have been like the underdog team for so long. If you ever watched the film Moneyball, that's based on the Oakland Athletics. And they'll have some fans there who are lifelong supporters.
He just gets picked up and
move it to Las Vegas. That's just crazy. They've already got
a homegrown lad, and then they just say, by the way, your club's now in Las Vegas, you need to move.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that wouldn't happen so much because they don't have local lads coming through there. They just get shipped out wherever they want. But it's weird that they've already got an NHL team. Next will be the NBA, I guess. Who's going to move there from the NBA? Well, it's to do with the gambling and the bookies.
Yeah.
That's why it's happening. But yeah, there's lots of sport going on there.
Right. So there's 2 games. Manly played South Sydney, and the Roosters played Brisbane. First of all, can we talk about the 4 players that got taken over?
Yeah, the 4 players. We've just been talking about marketing Super League stars. The 4 players the NRL sent to star in these marketing campaigns, I can only assume that Latrell Mitchell was busy, and Daly Cherry Evans, and who else would have gone? Reece Walsh was busy, and Joey Manu. Those 4 were all definitely busy because they sent Aaron Woods, who didn't play because he didn't make the 17.
Who does Aaron Woods play for?
He plays for Manly.
Does he play for Manly?
But he's basically in like. He's a bit like a mentor role almost. So he's one of the older players who he's been around a long, long time.
Yeah,
and he doesn't really play unless there's injuries, but he's a good presence. I think that's kind of what Aaron Woods does now. Who else went? Campbell Graham, the psycho killer. He got injured straight away.
He's not a big talker, and they call him psycho because he looks through you.
Yeah, because he's really awkward. That's why they call him psycho killer, because he's awkward in front of the camera. Sent him, got injured.
And the Roosters.
Oh. Yeah,
Can we talk about this now? Because we're going to have to mention it.
On.
Spencer Liniu.
Who, I don't know if there's been a verdict yet.
No.
What happened?
He's been charged.
There was
but I don't know
a
what
formal allegation from Ezra Mam about a racist incident.
Well, they said it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He just tried to make light of it.
Yeah, he then came out in an interview after and said that it's all fun and games on the field, which I just... Awful comments to then say.
He's going to be sitting for a long time on the sidelines.
I've got 2 questions, first of all. One, whoever decided to go and interview him after the game, knowing that allegation had been made, because it wasn't hidden. It wasn't like they didn't know that was made. who's then gone, let's go and interview a guy that's been accused of a racist remark.
Because the ref said, didn't he? He said, do you want to make a formal complaint? Yes. Okay, I'll put it on report.
So, they knew that had happened. Why would you ever go and interview him about it?
For clicks.
And second of all, obviously that is just not acceptable in rugby league. And I get that things get said on the field, and we've all played sports where things get said to try and get in your head, comments about whatever. There are things that you can and can't do, and you can't make comments. You can't make racist comments.
No.
It's a shame you were saying this before we started recording this segment. We've had a really good marketing, campaign for rugby league where the NRL's gone over to Vegas. 40,000 people's filled the stadium, like you've just said there.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's talking about after it is an instance of racism. Not the amazing rugby league that was on show.
It's so
not
frustrating.
We're talking about something that's just spoiled it almost, hasn't it?
It's annoying.
It's the only thing being reported in BBC.
That's it, yeah.
We've jumped onto the Vegas section, and we now have to talk about it.
And we're talking about this. We have to, because it's the news that's come out.
We should
this
be
week.
talking about Jason Saab and Luke Brooks and,
Yeah.
Latrell Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's what we should be talking about.
And we will do.
But he has to face a long spell on the sidelines.
He will face a long spell.
And I'm not one for being, he'd never play again for me, or club should sack him, because we have to agree that people make mistakes and there can be some rehabilitation. But if there's sort of no remorse about this, then that's even more worrying for me. Because if he says, it was a huge mistake, I said it in the heat of the moment, it was an enormous mistake, I'm going to go
and speak to Ezra now.
I'm going to go and speak to him. I'm going to go and spend some time in the Indigenous community. I'm going to really try and do some charitable work. I'm going to try and learn and be better. Then I can say, right, hands up, you've owned your mistake, you've learned from it, you won't do it again. But if he's going to make light of it like he did, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to assume he's going to do it again.
That's why I just think it's poor for whoever's gone and interviewed him or told them to go and interview him after the game. Because someone should have, to be fair, maybe someone from the Roosters should have grabbed him and pulled him straight off the field.
Yeah, why has the club allowed that to happen? If you know your player's in hot water straight away, protect him.
Drag him off the field and say...
Not protect him in that, but you know what I mean? Don't let that opportunity
Don't let it get any
protect
worse.
your club, should I say. Protect your club, can take him out of the limelight and
don't let it
make
get
sure
any worse.
you can try and keep a lid on the situation.
Yeah, but obviously they played... I think we should move on from that now.
Yeah.
Obviously... everyone's supporting Ezra, and the comments from the coach and Adam Reynolds after they're fully supportive of him,
they should be.
which is brilliant. The player that the Broncos sent to go and market this game, they didn't send the world class fullback and
6, 7,
the veteran Adam Reynolds Patrick Carrigan or Payne Haas, the Blues power forward. They sent the coach's son, Billy Walters.
Billy Walters, man, he's a good player.
I know he is, but...
He's good.
But of all the names that you could send, Reece Walsh, I don't want to be funny, everyone looks at Reece Walsh, and he's a good-looking fella, he's really good at rugby league, he's the £1 million man.
Burying Billy Walters is.
He's going to sign a contract that's rumoured to be $6 million Aussie dollars over 5 years.
Yeah.
He's one of the biggest names in rugby league. And you send him Billy Walters, who's he's still growing in the game.
He's a good player.
I'm not saying he's not.
We've got Reece Lightning, we've got Billy Walters.
He's no discredit to him, but he's not.
He's definitely better Billy.
He's not Trell Mitchell. He's not.
You got 3 Billys, haven't you? You got Billy Slater, God level.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this.
You
got Billy Walters, decent player, good future. Billy McGulius.
He has the worst highlight reel I've ever seen.
What about Billy Eden?
Billy Eden doesn't count because it's not his real name.
It's not his real name. Phil Clark, brilliant.
Right, should we talk about some of the games?
I'm trying to say, should we run through results?
I know.
Manly played the first game against the Rabbits, 36-24.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see Luke Brooks playing to what everyone said about him.
Yeah, true.
No pressure, no big money contract, just unbelievable.
They enjoy rugby league.
Yeah.
Jason Saab.
The pressure's all on Daly Cherry Evans.
Yeah.
And Luke Brooks can just be freed up to do whatever he wants now, play whatever role he wants.
I think, again, Jason Saab up there as one of the quickest men in the league with a full-length interception.
Yeah.
But he also, I can't believe it didn't even make the highlight video. What an ankle tap from Lachlan Ilias.
Yeah.
Lachlan Ilias with the try saver on Saab.
Of a player who isn't known as a quick player.
Jason Saab is known as the fastest man in the NRL, and
He's competing with the Fox, isn't he?
There should be a race. They should race, but I think he's the fastest, Saab. There's a sprinting coach who says just Saab's the fastest.
And that's why, like I love this game, that extra just 1% of effort to get an ankle tap on him. And then Johnston, who'd been involved in the tackle on Trbojevic, Turbo, to get back and complete the tackle. I just love that.
Yeah.
One thing I'm going to say.
Oh, Ben Trbojevic scored, didn't he? That was good.
Can we just leave Turbo's nickname alone?
What's
Jake Trbojevic, because they're now calling... Tom Trbojevic is obviously Turbo.
Tommy Turbo.
But they're calling Jake Trbojevic Gerbo and Ben Trbojevic Burbo. Can he not just have that nickname to himself and you can come up with something else?
Jake Trbojevic is so funny, man. He was spelling his name for the American public like he was on a spelling bee. That was funny.
I just think brilliant.
Them three are funny, aren't they? They're funny. Yeah. There's a funny crew. They're all brothers. They all look a bit similar. They all look a bit daft.
They all have a funny name.
Daft blondes. They have a silly name. They're all incredibly talented.
There's your marketing thing.
Exactly.
Build your marketing campaign around three brothers.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Knights did it with Joey and Matty, didn't they?
Yeah, the Burgess boys. Yeah.
Brothers, yeah.
There's the great one of the Saifiti brothers at Newcastle. Do you see the pre-season game last week? The referee was Belinda Sharp, and they snuck on the other twin and pretended it was the same one, and she noticed and sent him off. But it was funny because it was only a pre-season friendly. Like they wouldn't try it in an actual match. They tried to prank the ref with a twin switch, like Brett and Josh Morris used to do. Brett Morris they used to get reporters down to their house, and Brett Morris would say, "Watch how fast I can run around the house." And as soon as he was out of sight round the first corner, Josh Morris would run round the last corner. It took like 3 seconds to run the whole house. Do you remember when they were pretending to fight?
Yeah,
Brett and Josh Morris.
Had a punch.
There was a Shamozzle or something, Bulldogs against Dragons, and Brett and Josh Morris were pretending to punch each other.
They got 3 game ban in Super League. One player I do want to talk about in this game, I know he's on the losing side, but Trell Mitch, what a try. I just love that from him. He's such a powerful body, and he reminds me so much of Greg Inglis. But he just goes at first receiver and just runs over the top of...
I'm going to score here, and you can't stop me.
Yeah. I know he was carrying a bit of an injury last year.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
But I just love that attitude of...
I hope he's fully fit, because he is so exciting to watch.
I'm the best player on this field. I'll score when I want sort of attitude. Should we jump over to the second game?
Speaking of, talented players.
The Roosters versus Brisbane. Plenty of tries that were of high quality, but I'm going to start off with Victor, England's number 13. What a shot he put on the prop forward for Brisbane, and his name will come to me in a second.
Victor the Inflictor.
He was the bench prop, wasn't it?
Yeah, just absolutely nails him under the ball,
brilliant.
Puts him on his back, and then just drops on him. It's nothing better than a big hit.
Yeah, he is so good at that. And then he scored.
And then he scored.
Scored a nice try too, didn't he, Victor?
Yeah.
Put the icing on the cake.
Reece Walsh.
Best try.
Picked up.
Best try of the Vegas round, Reece Walsh. Hands to get it out wide.
Unbelievable try. But he also probably should have got a sin bin in for a shoulder charge tackle to stop Tupu scoring. Do you think that was the best try, or maybe Manu's offload?
Manu's offload was cool, but I think in terms of sheer rugby brilliance, the hands to get it out wide for Arthurs and then back on the inside for your fullback. I'm biased because I like those quick hands plays, and I like block plays, and I talked last year about how much I like what Lee did to get Charlie in on the left hand side so many times, and I like plays like that. And I do freaky offloads like Manu's. I can appreciate them, but I love a well executed. Put it through the hands, drawn pass play, you know.
Yeah, I'm just so disappointed that we're losing him to rugby union end next year.
Manu
and Joseph Suale. They're 2 massive losses for our code. But
well, you never know the way rugby union's going down there. It might change. There's not so much money, is there?
Right. Should we do our predictions? Dead
Sure.
quick. Then
Okay.
we can let you go, guys. So, first game up, Thursday, Hull KR versus Warrington. I'm going to go
Oh,
Hull KR.
that's a hard one first. That's a hard one.
I think it's a massive game for Warrington to prove that
Is
they
it at Craven Park?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, I'm going to go okay at it being at Craven Park, knowing
I
that.
think I'll go Warrington.
Next up,
I think I'll go Warrington.
Friday, 8 o'clock kickoff, Saints versus Salford.
St Helens.
Yeah,
Saint
Saints for this one, definitely.
Another game, Castleford versus Huddersfield. How important is this game?
This is a good game. This
Huddersfield have to bounce back after
Huddersfield
a bad
have to
defeat
bounce
to
back.
Saints and whatever. Probably eyeing this up as a game to win.
I'm going to go for Huddersfield just because of Castleford's leaky defence.
I have to go Huddersfield.
And Huddersfield looked alright, with the ball in hand.
Yeah, I'm going to go Huddersfield.
Now, the game that I'll be watching on Friday, Lee versus Leeds.
Yeah, Lee versus
tasty.
Leeds. What a game this is going to be.
I'm going to go Lee.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Leeds.
I'm going to stick with last week. They didn't let me down. I'm going to go for Leeds again.
Okay.
But that should be a good game, that.
That should be a really good game.
Very tasty
Some
game.
injuries hitting Leeds on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of
I did
Leeds.
say at the start, I know I put Lee when we did our pre-season
Ash Hanley's on fire as well.
episode. We talked about I put Lee quite low and you guys were, and I said if they get a couple of injuries, they could be in trouble. They've had that couple of injuries, and I think they could be in trouble.
Yeah, good point.
So I'm going Leeds.
Good point, that.
Okay. London versus
Wigan.
Wigan.
Next
I
one.
know I normally leave them last, but I'm doing it in order
Next
for a change,
question.
mix it up.
Yeah, I think.
Wigan,
Well, I mean, we should talk about why we think we're going to go and win.
Yeah. Do you think we might rest a few players?
Yeah.
I think we should.
I think
resting
it might
players
be a
being
similar
called.
game.
Ellis, I think Ellis.
Ellis or Dupree, I think one of them will get a rest.
Byrne
Yeah.
obviously had a rest, didn't they?
Bernard Arrest. Thompson should be able to go again for missing World Club Challenge.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Hill come back in and do a bit more because I'm like
Chan.
watching
Chan
Hill.
again.
Chan
Did he
maybe
pass his
come in,
HIA?
yeah.
He came back on, didn't he?
He was ready to come back on if he didn't. So yeah, I'm assuming he passed his HIV.
So-
see him go again.
Might make a change in the back, maybe. I don't know. Miskip had his knee bandaged up.
He might be
in
a
the
week
World
off,
Club
yeah,
Challenge. So I don't know if
so
maybe Eckersley might get a go or something like that. But
Yeah, it's a funny one. Isn't
be
it? 'Cause you
interesting to see how some of the younger lads go if they do make a couple of changes.
It's a funny one because I thought Cade Ellis would get a rest after the World Cup Challenge.
Yeah, we
doing
thought
80
he
minutes
would.
or
Yeah, we
whatever.
thought he would.
Yeah.
And then he put in another 60-minute performance.
Yeah.
So
Thing is, we were sat there thinking they could do with the rest, and they might be saying, "No, I'm ready to go again."
Yeah,
Coach,
that's
get
true.
me in. So we don't know.
It is a
do we?
short week though. After this, we'll play Salford on a short week. Thursday, Saturday to Thursday.
Saturday to Thursday.
yeah, who knows? Right. Final game on Saturday as well, 5:30 kickoff, so back to back.
Oh no, Sundays this week.
No Sundays this
that's a
week. We've got
shame.
Thursday, 3 on
There's no
Friday,
Thursday
and
left
2 on
this
Saturday.
week.
Catalans, Hull FC.
Catalans
Yeah.
at home
Catalans.
against Hull FC. Yeah, I think Catalans should be a pretty safe bet this week.
I think Catalans might try and flex the muscles this week.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think.
I hope they
Catalan's
do. I'd like to see Catalan do some
I think
serious
after the
damage.
previous
Are the
results,
big boys back for Hull FC? Is that Pele
League-
back from his
League
back?
for.
South.
I mean, he got 3 games, didn't he, Pele?
No,
So-
League got 2.
Liggy got 2, so he'll be back.
Yeah.
I
don't think
say
Pele's
get any.
back.
I say get 1 or 2. I don't know.
So
I'll
Pele's
tell you in a
not
second.
back.
Pele's
so
got
he's
one
3.
more week off,
He's
hasn't
got
he?
this week off.
Because he had
Still
3.
got the 2 loanees in Matty Russell and Joe Bullock.
They went all right, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
They went all right.
Right. Those are predictions. We'll send out the post now, the poll on Twitter, so get involved and
Yeah.
Vote
You
for the poll.
listeners, you're on 4.
who did they get wrong?
Well, everyone got Salford wrong,
Yeah.
and the listeners backed Catalan against Leeds.
Oh, so you're leading 5-4-4.
5, but that's a very narrow lead. So we'll see. Well, we'll see what the listeners think. They agreed with you last week
Yeah.
that
Can't blame 'em.
that Catalans would win.
Right. Thank you for listening, guys. Thank you for joining,
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
and we'll
Brilliant.
see you next week. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap.